Last year, this film did its film festival circuit. It was in South by Southwest. I don't know if it did Tribeca. You can probably Google it and find out. But finally got distribution and finally now available here in the U.S. to watch. Even though it was finished filming and released in October 2022, we were finally able to catch a glimpse of it.
Yeah, it's definitely the kind of film where I think they finished making it, they released it into festivals, and then she got the role, Lily Sullivan did, in Evil Dead Rise, and they were like, hold up.
Yeah.
Let's just wait.
Yeah, let's hold on.
And drop it when she's got the power.
Yeah, so let's talk about the dangers of podcasting. Let's talk Monolith.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm one of your hosts, Kyle Goethe from GoatFilmReviews.com.
And I'm Nick from the St. Paul Filmcast. Thanks for watching, and for our loyal fans, thank you for continuing to support the show. Hit the like and subscribe button. It's a little thing you can do, but it's a big thing for us, and it's a great help. Also, another way, join the Patreon. We have some great content, great deals. We're still doing our Road to Diploma.
Oh, yeah.
Which is exclusive for Patreons. Also, if you join Patreon, you have an opportunity to tell us what movies we could review in the future, with a shout out to you, of course. Today we're talking about, even though it's relatively new for us, it's been out for a while, it's The Monolith. What the hell is going on here?
So the journalist is looking to recover her career, and she starts a new podcast on unsolved mysteries when she discovers the story of an unusual black brick that appears at people's homes and unravels their lives. But is this a true story or a hoax targeting this new podcaster?
So the premise is a little bit like Michael Blomkvist from Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, kind of accomplished journalist who got hoodwinked into publishing a story that she didn't check for references that kind of led to be a false story. We don't get a lot of the details of what transpires. We know the consequences of what happens. That's not really point of the details. It's not interesting what happened, but we understand the consequences of the actions that happens, and she's trying to do a podcast just to kind of get back into the game.
Yeah, that background piece is as important as it is. Like, you know what I mean? It's they give us enough information to go, okay, we got it, let's keep on going.
Just kind of like Michael Blomkvist. That kept popping in my brain.
I mean, at least in the book for that, there's like 100 pages before they actually get that first chapter. I remember being just so damn long, where it's like, I got it, move on. But this is a case where we have enough information to say, okay, let's go to the main story. And I think that's an important comparison piece, is something I'm going to bring up later on, is how they use just enough information to kind of give us what we need to survive on to get through the rest of the film.
Yeah, interesting independent film. A lot of Lily Sullivan. If you really like her from Evil Dead Rise, you'll get a bunch of her in this movie. Understand, if it's an independent small movie, you can make a lot of things. It's not just her, but if you concentrate on her in one setting, you can get a lot more done.
Yeah. This reminded me a lot of the movie Locke, actually. The one starring Tom Hardy, where he's in a car talking to people for 90 minutes.
Yes.
And it's just like, when you have a strong performance from strong enough character writing, you can survive on that. It's very difficult to do, but I think this is definitely the case where a filmmaker in Matt Wesley understood, here's what I have for my budget, here's what I'm able to accomplish with it, without sacrificing story.
Okay, so without looking it up, you understand this premise is a podcasting, and she understands there's a phenomenon that's happening that might actually include her herself. She questions its reality, and you understand why I picked this. I love psychological suspense. I did like Smile. We just did Something Quiet, and here, this is kind of my kind of a thing of where you don't really understand reality. There's a scene where she gets a box, and it's almost like, oh my God. You have this high tension thing, and it's just a box, but it's film crafted, the suspense, kind of for something that should be relatively simple. It kind of manufactured the suspense really well.
Yeah, there's certain scenes in the film that I think really highlight the ability to take something that we're 98% sure we know what's going to happen next. And then whether or not it happens, it convinces us that it's not going to. And, in the case of that box, that's a great scene where it's like, I feel like I know what's going to happen. What I thought was not what happened, but it was definitely kind of an evolution of, am I sure where the narrative is going? Because it does feel at times like it's going down a beaten path that we're comfortable with. And there's those little flare moments where we kind of question what's going on.
So it has a little bit of updated of horror, because as you're corresponding with anonymous people, you're not really communicating with them. Are they legit people? Is it legit happening? And for her to have a damaged reputation of going just about assumptions, she's also navigating this world where, are these people that contact me real? Is I'm getting hoodwinked? So you have these lot of navigating things happening. We're right. We feel like we know what's transpiring, but are we really truly sure?
Yeah, and can we trust that she is doing the same due diligence this time around, or is she going to fall into the same pitfalls that she did early on in the film? We already have a flaw in her character that she wants to believe. She's Mulder, and she is wanting to believe in this story as she goes through it. Yeah. Is she going to make the same mistakes? I like the idea of, is she being targeted by the people that she already hurt the first time around? That's an interesting angle that they play with, is, am I causing this in some way? And in some ways, our narrative asks us that question throughout.
Wonderful camera selections. I do like that she has her kind of a menagerie. I was always thinking that this could actually play out really well into a play, a stage theater play.
Oh yeah, most of the, one-man shows, in a lot of ways, most of them could conceive.
But you can construct this as her, like they have this menagerie of this shelf, and she's podcasting and everything. And it does get into the little bit of the mysticism, but the mysticism isn't really the core of the story. The story is searching for what is truly happening, and then can you trust your past also?
Yeah. I think the cinematography isn't flashy. It isn't doing anything that's really surprising or out there. But given the limited budget of the film, it's very obvious that this film is
very much like Alex Garland's Annihilation. Now the concept, not story wise, but filming of just set the camera and let everything, the environment and the mood, pull you in.
Yeah, it's clearly a sense of we have to stretch what we can out of what we have.
Yeah.
Simple camera placement, not bad camera placement, but simple. The camera is right in front, letting Lily do all the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Thing is, she's a solid actress. I think this is a great performance for her to showcase in her career, especially when you change it up from it's a more silent film here, but you change it up and combine it with the incredibly loud film that is Evil Dead Rise, and you can see a wide range of performance from her, and I think we're going to see a lot more of her.
Loud and crass, that's why I love it, yeah. Right, Lily Sullivan really nails it. I'm looking forward to what she is going to do next. I'm really taken back by the third act. Not so much I didn't think that's where we're going to go with this, and it does change the trajectory really quick.
Yeah, the third act is the part where the film falters heavily for me, and that's the one where I understand what is being done, but I don't think it's executed in a way that is wholly satisfying, if that makes sense. We are left with questions that I feel like with enough thinking we can answer for ourselves in a way, but I feel like the extremity of what this black brick is and how it's affected people and how it's combined with her past and her present, I feel like it both is exactly what I expected to happen and also unsatisfying enough that I just didn't really get pulled into it. I felt like the film was really firing on all cylinders until it gets to that ending, and I think the reveal is meant to shock us, and it more or less just kind of made me go, okay.
Right. Where if you wanted to do the punch, and I absolutely agree with you, the third act, though it is daring, it's bold, I didn't expect it, but it leaves too much unanswered that I want a little bit. It's all right you leave your ending open-ended. I don't mind that, but you want at least to live what the hell is going on a little bit. I understand, like, even with like something surreal like the movie Men, that leaves an open interpretation what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
But I have a sense of satisfying that we went to their journey. We have an ending that we satisfied. This, I just like, what was the whole point? Yeah,
it was underwhelming in a sense where I feel like when you do a movie about a mystery, a movie about a question of what is this, what is happening,
and you don't want to answer all the questions.
You need to answer at least enough of it to get us across the finish line. That was what was done so well about the opening of the film, was we have enough about her past and what happened with this last podcast or this last writing piece that we can move past it without asking more questions. That's the case with this one. I felt like I had more questions I wanted answered to differentiate how this ending worked.
Different ending if he came out of different orifices, right? I was thinking about that. If it was Cronenberg, it would have come out of a different orifice.
I mean, that was literally what the point of Stephen King's Dreamcatcher was. What if it was aliens, but it comes out your butt? Right. So I guess, it would, it certainly would have gone a Cronenbergian way for other directors. But again, you have to ask the question, could they have even afforded that? Maybe the script had that.
Well, I would know if I was walking around with a kind of a shoe stuck in the dryer.
That's fair.
You kind of notice. All right. I'll leave enough to you to be interested in watching it. If you have seen it, comment down below and see what if you agree with our statement about Monolith, if it entices you to watch it, and what else would you like to see Lily Sullivan in? I'm really excited about her.
Yeah, I am too, because I feel like in Evil Dead Rise, while she's good in that movie, the showcase is on the direction, and I think the showcase is especially on, is it Sutherland? the mother character in that film, I think, gets the flashier role. So it was nice to see her all by herself really showcasing
and she
her
does
talents.
all the emotions in this, from hesitancy to questions to all out rage to anger to weeping.
Yep. So if you're out in Australia, you've probably saw this movie 2 years ago. If you're out by South by Southwest, you probably saw it a year ago.
Right.
And now you're getting a chance to see it now. So if you've been sitting on it for 2 years, give us your thoughts if you still remember what the movie was happening.
Right.
And thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate you taking the time out to explore the film world with us. And you can find all of my film reviews over at goatfilmreviews.com.
You can find my show, The St. Paul Filmcast, anywhere you find podcasts, and anybody mails you a brick, don't take. Yeah.
Oh, I did it twice already.